Hi, so I'm starting a separate reading vlog, which I'm going to read my volumes that I have of Kakegurui, also titled The Compulsive Gambler. I have watched the anime for this and I've watched the live action series for it, and I have loved both adaptations. So I'm hoping I will love the manga as well. I think I have volumes 1 to 7. I'll have to check. Because these volumes are actually quite hard to get. You can find Kakegurui Twin, which I think is like a spin-off or something. I haven't really looked into it, but it's not the original series. So I'm gonna just read the volumes I have unless I get compulsive and I just buy more and I can find more. Apologies for looking at a mess. I've been around COVID at work and my mum also tested positive and I live with her. I'm still testing negative, but I have felt rough this whole week, and I have a chronic stomach condition which gets triggered whenever I'm feeling any sort of unwell, so not having the best time. But I wanted to update because I've been reading Kakegurui Volume 1. I love it. It's like, because I've seen the live action and the anime, it's like you're watching it on the page. It's really fun. I really like the art style because I love like playing cards and gambling kind of like theming anyway. I will say the rock, paper, scissors game, because it's different from a normal rock, paper, scissors game, they've put a twist on it for the gambling. I don't think I would really understand it if I was just reading the rules from here, like, because I already know how it works because I've seen both shows. I found it easier, but I think if I was just reading it from the page, I would really struggle to understand what was going on and how the rules of that worked. I also love Yumiko. She's the girl on the front cover, and every time I always think like she's just great at gambling, and then you realise that she was just like hedging her bets and fully going off of luck. Like she could lose dramatically in this. Like there's a like social ladder that if you have so much money, you're in like the top of the ladder and you can like order everyone around. And if you're in the lower tiers, if you've lost gambling and you have below a certain amount of money, you are the house pets. So if you're a boy, you're called Fido. If you're a girl, you're called Mittens or Kittens, I think it is. And you can basically be ordered around by the other gamblers that are a higher status than you. Like they can literally ask you to be their footstool. They can do anything. You are bottom of the pyramid, and it's practically impossible to get back from that position once you've dropped to that position. So the fact that she is just risking it all on luck is crazy. I love it when Yumiko is gambling against one of the like president council people. This one's called Itsuki, and she seems really like sweet and innocent and just, oh, I just want to gamble. And my game's really sweet and easy. Like, you just have to remember where the cards are and turn them over and get a match. Except this is like, you've got to remember, you've got to match up not just the number but the suit of the card as well, which still seems quite innocent, if not a much harder game. And then suddenly, like, when Yumiko asks to gamble again, Itsuki like, that's fine, but let's gamble for higher stakes this time. I just want your nails. And then she shows, I'll insert some clips, but she shows her collection of human fingernails that she's had from previous gambling games with other students. Little psycho. Volume 1 was so good. It's literally like watching the show. She had like 3 big gambling games in this one. The 2 I've already spoken about. And then the 3rd one was the like traditional room one where they're like playing with dice and swords and stuff. That's always my least favourite game, but it was still quite entertaining and really fast paced. I'm really excited to go like through all the other council members and their gambling games, because that's always my favourite bit, is discovering each like personality or trait of all the council members, because they all seem really like creepy and weird. And like even more interestingly is the ones that seem innocent and you're like, how did you get to this position? Because they've clearly all got an underlying sinister or manipulative kind of streak to be able to be in the position they're in. So I'm going to start volume 2. We've just been introduced to Midari, who's another member of the council. She's the one that has like an eye patch over her eye, and she's always my favourite. Like, we haven't really got to her gambling scene yet, she's just been introduced. But I love it. Her gambling game is basically like Russian roulette. That type of game, and it's always fun. Is the eye patch she's wearing on her eye because she lost a Russian roulette and she got shot in the eye, or does she just wear it for appearances to make it seem so? Finished volume 2. Not a lot to say about this one. This was basically the big debt exchange, so everyone has a certain amount of money they're in debt with the council with, and this is a chance to swap your debts with another person by gambling. So you could either end up in a way better place, you could stop being a house pet and climb up through the ranks, or you could find yourself drop fully down. I never find this bit too interesting, even though I do like that it's like getting back at the people who treat house pets horrifically and as if they aren't even human, and bringing them to the reality of, you are now a house pet. Like, how do you like this treatment? Would you like someone else doing the same to you? But yeah, there was nothing else. That was the entire volume, just that scene, really. Obviously, we were also introduced to Midari, which I'm really excited for volume 3 because I'm hoping that's going to be when we have her like gambling game, like her scene. Like each council member has a certain scene of their gambling game, and I'm hoping hers is in the next volume because she's one of my favourites. I've also started rewatching the anime because I just had this urge to watch it again after volume 1, which was basically a lot of the first season. Like the 3 like first gambling games. So I've started rewatching it and I'm really enjoying it. I've also noticed in the live action, Mary, the girl Yumiko originally gambles against, they've changed her from blonde to brunette in the live action, and I don't get why they did that. Like, it's such a simple thing you could keep the same, and it's quite a distinguishable, because Yumiko has like long brunette hair. Giving Mary blonde hair makes her stand out against her. But I'm rewatching the anime anyway. I'm not rewatching the live action, at least not at the minute. Midari hears that Yumiko wants to challenge the president of the student council, and she's like, oh hell no, she's gonna have to gamble with me first. So she takes her to like, she like practically kidnaps her to agree to gamble against her, even though Yumiko's like, why didn't you just say we can gamble anyway, because she's also like just a gambling addict. And I know I said that Midari's game is like Russian roulette. Her actual game isn't that. It's you've got to like guess what the dealer is going, what she's got like symbol cards, and you've got to guess the order that the dealer is going to put the cards in. And then the Russian roulette bit comes at the end because you think that's just the game, like whoever wins wins. And she's like, no, whoever wins gets to pull the trigger of the gun for however many points they won by, and whoever gets a bullet in their head loses. So you could win a round and get a blank shot and still not win, or you could just instantly be shot. You don't know where the bullet is. But so it is basically Russian roulette. You've just got to go through the motions before the Russian roulette bit, which is very fun because there's no way for the game to end without someone dying in the like typical rules of the game that Midari sets out. I said in the beginning that we don't know if Midari like had her eyes shot at or if she's just pretending. And it's revealed that she gambled and she got 300 million yen into debt. And the student council president was like, I don't care about the money, show me something I've never seen before. I've never seen the other side of an eye. And she's like, we'll arrange for you to have surgery to have it removed in the morning. And Midari's like, forget that, screw that. And she just gets a fountain pen and gouges her eye out. Like, ugh. I'm very weird about eyes anyway, but gouging your own eye out, like, we knew she was a bit off the rails, but ooh. And then after that, she's like, oh, that's not enough. Do you want my other eye? I'm not done gambling. And they offer her to join the student council, and she doesn't want to do it. And the president's like, if you join, I'll kill you one day. And then Midari's like, yes. So I'm on volume 4, and we've just met Yumimi. I hope that I say that right. And she's another member of the student council, and she's basically like an idol. She does concerts and there's a fan base for her, and they have a little scene where she's doing a little fan greet at the end, and they're like saying, oh, our chanting wasn't right this time, we'll get it better next time, I'll never miss one of your concerts. And they're being like the sweetest fans ever. And she's being all like sweet back, and then when they're gone and she goes backstage, she's like, oh, those pigs make me sick. And it's just horrifying to think like how like real celebrities or idols can be like this. Like, you never truly know anyone, but it proves that even the sweet and innocent council members have their sinister side, because otherwise they wouldn't be on the council. So the gambling in this one, they do like 9 different games, I think it is. And if Yumiko loses, she has to join Mimuni, I don't remember what her name is, as a duo, like an idol duo, she has to join her. But if she loses and Yumiko wins, Yumiko recorded a clip of the other girl like slagging off her fans and saying what she truly feels, and if she loses, Yumiko's going to release the audio clip. And so we go through all the games, and it's like very interesting to see, because they're both the other girl that isn't Yumiko, the like idol, she's trying to call Yumiko's like bluff or double bluff or whatever to figure out her schemes, because she knows she's good at figuring them out and she wants to use them against her, but Yumiko knows what she's up to and she uses it back at her. So at the end, like, Yumiko wins and they release this audio clip, and her fans are still like, we love you anyway. On to volume 5, and I'm very interested to see what goes on in this one, because I'm pretty sure the girl on the cover is the president of the student council, because she's got blonde hair, but a few of the characters do, but she's got those piercing blue eyes, which is a signature of the president. So I'm feeling this is going to be quite a juicy volume. So Yumiko is doing another gambling match with the guy of the student council. I think he's called Cade, and the dealer in this match is the president's right hand woman, because the president of the student council has gone away and we're not really sure where she is, and the right hand woman wears a face mask, so you don't know who she is. And then they're just debating, because they've raised the stakes like as high as you can possibly raise it. If you lose, you are not getting out of this. You will be a house pet for the rest of your life. And the guy Cade is like, I refuse the stakes. And then Yumiko's like, well, it's the dealer's choice whether she accepts or not. It's not really our choice. And then Cade is like, you can't do that, because she like accepts the stakes. And she's like, oh, can't I? Takes off the mask and reveals it is the president herself and not the right hand woman. Just read the whole of volume 6. Don't have a lot to say about this volume. It's not my favourite one. Most of the pages were... So this gambling game, Yumiko is gambling against the president's secretary. and there's like this big tower, and most of the like working it out is to do with numbers, so a lot of the diagrams on the page is just like diagrams with loads of numbers, so it didn't really catch my interest like some of the other gambling matches, but I still really enjoyed it. I'm loving this series so far. So I'm going to read volume 7, which is the last volume I own, so it's going to be the last one I read for this vlog, and I'm keen to get to it. I finished! Not the series, because I don't think I'm even halfway through the series. I think there's 16 volumes, if I'm correct, or maybe there's 18. I did look it up, but I don't know. So I've only read up to volume 7. So my next volume would be volume 8. This one was a really fun volume. They're doing an election to find out who the new student council are going to be, because everything's been falling apart since Yumiko's been like beating them all. And 3 of them, Yumiko involved and my favourite psycho girly, they gamble with a finger guillotine. So they all put a finger in and there's a guillotine blade above them, and they've got to each cut a string each time, knowing that any string could bring the blade down. And you lose if you remove your finger. If you lose your guts to keep your finger there, you lose. But then you could win by keeping your finger there, but then you would lose your finger. So that was like really fun. But yeah, I highly recommend this series to anyone. I've been loving the manga, I love the anime, I love the live action. I've actually convinced my mum to watch the live action with me, and she's really enjoying it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Bye bye.